think it's working again. I think it's working again. I think it's working again. We're back. We're back, people. And we're better than ever. Welcome to Gumball Sports Machine, the show in which we love, we laugh, we hug, we cry, we smile, and most importantly, we are positive. And I am not by myself today. I got my dog, my boy, my co-host, David Largo, aka DLO. DLO, how does it feel to be back?
Man, it's been too long. It's been way too long.
It absolutely has been too long. And I could not be happier to be back. Because David Largo, do you know why?
Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's that time.
Hey, hold on. Hey, DLO, ain't that hold on, ain't this the new TikTok dance that we doing?
I'm gonna sit here and act like I
No?
know what that is. Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. I
I've
shouldn't have
I've I
that's
have
on
no
me.
idea.
I
I have
shouldn't have
no
done that.
idea.
That's my bad.
Yeah,
Okay, well, what a great start to the show. Um
I'm not caught up on the trends.
no,
Schoolwork has been clouding me.
you know what? It is also that time of year. That's the only bad thing about the start of football season was, at least when I was in school, it was the start of football season also meant the start of school coming back.
Hmm.
That was never a fun thing. But David Largo, we're back. And we're talking about football.
Yeah,
David.
man.
Now let's talk about that game that took over the internet, D'Lo. The Buffalo Bills taking on the Baltimore Ravens, and I have not. And look at this little twist, David. You have not. I have not shown David this yet. Look at this: 41 to 40. The Buffalo Bills beat the Baltimore Ravens. Josh Allen ends the game with 394 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry rushed for a buck 69, 2 touchdowns, and the Buffalo Bills come back to beat the Baltimore Ravens in the fourth quarter. D'Lo, you saw this game. This was, I was telling you before the show, this was probably the best game I've watched since 2018, and that Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Rams. Um,
Yeah.
what did you see from Buffalo? I mean, they were down in the dirt. They were. I thought the game was done. I was like, oh well, there's no way. Baltimore's running game is too good. They're gonna run the clock out. Derrick Henry already has rushed for 150 yards. They're going to run the clock out. It's gonna be over. Then next thing you know, Derrick Henry fumbles the ball, and the game is completely turned on its heels. What'd you see from that game?
If you're asking in the perspective of the Bills, they showed that they could get it done in crunch time today, or well, not today, obviously. This was 2 days ago, but they got it done. If you saw the time, they had what, less than 6 minutes left in that fourth quarter, and they were down 15, and then they came back and won the game.
Yeah,
What what do you do? um, a big part of that is that Derrick Henry fumble. It kind of costed the Ravens huge. Um, but you got to give it up for Josh Allen. A lot of people, especially on social media, were saying this is why he won MVP last year. Um, he outplayed him in the playoffs last year, and now he outplayed him again on Sunday Night Football. I think there's a recurring theme here in that Josh Allen is trying to prove that he is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, and it's it's hard to deny that he's making a really good case, um, and inching closer to number one.
this this game was ridiculous. Watching the game, you know, Baltimore started the game off completely like it was. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Baltimore's looking for revenge, and from the playoff game, from the divisional game last season, and they're like, okay, this is that you won last year. That's fine. You beat us. Now we're gonna show you why you should not have beat us, and why at our best you can't beat us when you're at your best. That's what it looked like for a while, D'Lo. And the Ravens went up 40-25. Derrick Henry looked unstoppable. Lamar Jackson looked unstoppable. The Baltimore Ravens defense looked like the Ravens defense for the most part. Buffalo scored quickly early in the game, but they kind of got it together. They started bringing it back. But right now, DLO, I was going into the season saying Lamar, I think he's the second best quarterback in football. I think it's Mahomes, and then it goes Lamar. Lamar and Josh, those two very well might have flipped, at least in my opinion. And in terms of the quarterback rankings in the NFL, they very, very well might have flipped after Sunday. Josh Allen looked amazing. Now, it's not like Lamar had a bad game. He was fantastic.
He was fantastic.
But Josh Allen,
He just played better.
394 and 4 touchdowns and a comeback win. I mean, yes, the game was in Buffalo. I understand. But you're down 15 with 4 minutes left in the game, and you come back and win against a team like the Baltimore Ravens? Dude, that's next level, bro. And Josh Allen was fantastic. He was just great. I mean, there's nothing more he could have done that could have been like, wow, he could have played better. I just don't. And maybe a quicker start, but aside from that, he did everything he needed to.
I mean, what more do you want? Over 400 total yards and 4 TDs. What more do you want? I don't know.
He was fantastic.
And no turnovers.
None.
No turnovers.
Now, earlier in his career, that was the big story, D'Lo.
That's plagued him a lot.
Yep.
He did not turn the ball over.
And he protected the ball. He scored when he needed to. The thing I will say about the Bills, D'Lo, is they need to run the ball a little bit better.
Yeah, they do.
They're going to need to run. I understand James Cook was holding out. And you're going to need to run the ball a little bit better in order to be successful. Now, the offensive line, almost all of them came back, I believe, is they had the same offensive line as they had last year. So they have the chemistry, they have the protection, they have the communication in which they're able to go do everything. They're going to need to run the football more effectively because Josh Allen can't, as good as Josh Allen is, he cannot do this every single game. He can't do this every single week. It's inevitable. You can't throw for 394 every week. So he was great. He was great. They're going to have to get more balance though, D'Lo. They're going to have to run the ball more effectively.
I agree.
All right, D'Lo. Let's move on to my boys. My boys, they came out week 1. Now it's a game they were supposed to win, and they did win. The Cardinals did come out and beat the Saints this week, 20-13. Kyler Murray, he looked good. He did again not look great. He looked good. 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had 38 yards on the ground. Spencer Rattler, the Arizona native, he threw for 214. Threw a very good ball at the end to Juwan Johnson, and Budda Baker made a great play on the ball and knocked the way out in the end zone. D'Lo, I watched this game, and there's a few things that stood out to me. The defense looks better. Again, it was Spencer Rattler and the Saints, so there's only so much of a test they can give you, but the defense looked better. Josh Sweat was a little quiet. Obviously it's week 1. He didn't get any run in the preseason. Baron Browning did have the only sack for the Cardinals and the first sack of the season for the Cardinals. So that was good to see from Baron Browning. Calais Campbell, the run defense was really, really good. Alvin Kamara kind of didn't have his way in the first half, but he kind of got off for a few big runs in the first half. Second half, I think he had like 7 total yards, or 7 rushing yards, that is. So run defense looked a lot better. The number one thing that stood out to me, D'Lo, was the connection between Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. That was the number one thing that stood out to me. They look like they're more in tune. Kyler did miss him on a big throw that probably would have been a touchdown when they were on inside their own 10. And I think if Kyler hits him in stride, I think that's a touchdown. He just completely missed him, overthrew him. But the run game, I think, is going to have to be a little bit better. Trey Benson had that big 52-yard run. Outside of that, it wasn't exactly too effective. So that I would definitely like to see that get cleaned up. The number 2 thing that stood out to me, D'Lo, was Will Johnson. Now we're gonna talk about the rookies around the NFL here in a few minutes, but Will Johnson was fantastic in this game, and he showed everybody why he should have been a number one in first round draft pick. He was great. He showed flashes. He had a pick that should have been a pick that got called back from an illegal contact that was ridiculously far away from the play. Teach his own, but Will Johnson looked really good. Those are the two things that stood out to me in terms of my boys, in terms of the Cardinals from this game.
Yeah, really, I think they did play well all game, essentially. Really, the one big mistake was that Alvin Kamara touchdown that they gave up. He was a
Yeah,
decent chunk out. I think he was anywhere from 15 to 20 yards out. And they let him go. Other than that, they didn't really make any mistakes.
yeah,
And part of that is probably because you're playing, Spencer, right? Um, One thing I will say, they got to stop throwing these hospital balls to Chris Olave. He is getting way too many of those, and that's on a serious note too. I don't understand what it is with Saints quarterbacks and throwing Chris Olave hospital balls, but that man, they did it again in week one. I'm sure you saw it. Rattler was about to get sacked, and
yeah.
they blew the play up, and he threw a hospital ball when he should have just went down and took the sack.
Will Johnson.
So I don't I they got to stop doing that. Um, but I think the thing that stood out to me, right, is we kind of expected Marv and Trey to kind of lead the air attack, right? They both had 5 and 6 receptions, respectively. Um, Marv being that more deep ball threat, with Trey McBride sort of being like the safety blanket, right?
Yep.
The thing that stood up to me was James Conner and Trey Benson only being within 4 carries of each other. Um, Last season, it was not like that. James Conner got a majority of the touches last year. And so I like how it seems that they're leaning more into a 50-50 backfield, and maybe leaning towards Trey Benson to eventually take over James Conner in the backfield. I think it's something interesting that they'll have to watch for, especially if Trey Benson continues to perform with less touches, because obviously he ripped the big one, right? But
Yep.
he had more yardage and less attempts. And they may look at that and say, hey, maybe we split it even more and make it true 50-50. Just something to keep your eye on.
And D'Lo, the interesting part about that is Trey Benson's the third down back. Third down, Trey Benson was out there. That wasn't the case last year. Last year it was Emery DeMarcado is the third down back. Trey Benson has now taken that step to become the third down back, and he showed out. He showed out, and he wasn't great. Obviously, like you mentioned, he had that big explosive for 52, but he's taken that step to be the third down back and the first back up if God forbid James Conner gets hurt. Um, so I'm excited to see with Trey Benson. He's another second year guy that we're looking to make that jump. Um, Here's another thing, real quick, before we get off of this game, D'Lo. I work at Arizona Sports, and on the Wolf and Luke show today, we had Patrick Peterson on. He made a very interesting comparison to Marvin Harrison Jr. And I thought I'd ask you about this because I thought it was very, very intriguing. He kind of just threw out a name. And the name he threw out to compare to Marvin Harrison Jr. after, of course, bulking up and taking that next step is AJ Green. AJ Green, that tall receiver, that guy that almost like the safety blanket, like you said, Trey McBride, almost a safety blanket. Um, Now Marvin Harrison has the stature, he has the receiver body, he has the receiver physique, he has the hands. We've seen the route running. We saw it on Sunday against the Saints. Do you think that comparison is accurate? Do you think Marvin Harrison could be AJ Green esque? Obviously, we saw AJ Green at his best.
Yeah, I think he certainly has the potential to. Um, I also think he's a better deep ball threat than AJ Green is. And that's kind of the role that Arizona is leaning towards for Marv. Because remember, Trey McBride is, in my opinion, a top three tight end in the league, and you don't just write him off and say we have this guy in Marv, let's just throw him the ball all the time, right? And Trey McBride definitely thrives in that short to mid-yard game where he can catch the ball and, as all the tight ends say, yak. They love the yak,
Yep.
right? Um, he just fits that profile better than Marv does. So they kind of use Marv as that deep outlet. Um, so in that regards, I think they're kind of different. As in when AJ Green was in Cincinnati, he was kind of all over the field, but I think that he could play that game. I think he has a similar build. He's got similar hands, and he just has the ability to go make plays. Um, I like the comparison. I think it's good.
Yeah, I do too. And if Marvin Harrison becomes prime AJ Green, I will be more than ecstatic with that. AJ Green was fantastic in his career, especially with Cincinnati. Obviously, he came to the Cardinals late, and he wasn't bad. He was still good, but nothing like he was in Cincinnati. I mean, he was in the same conversation as Julio Jones and Antonio Brown and Larry Fitzgerald and Calvin
Mhm.
Johnson. Like he was in that conversation, and he was very productive. He was that guy every single year for the Bengals. For Andy Dalton. And obviously we knew they had a connection. So yeah, if Marvin Harrison Jr. could be AJ Green, I would love that. And so hearing that from Patrick Peterson, again, a guy that had to guard AJ Green and defend it, go 1-on-1 with AJ Green, that's pretty impressive. So I mean, yeah, if he could turn into AJ Green, that'd be fantastic. I thought that was interesting that I'd ask you about it. All right, D-Lo, let's get to your boys. Let's get to your boys. The 49ers and the Seahawks, a week one divisional game between these two. Um, Brock Purdy, 26 to 35, 277 yards. The two picks hurt them just a little bit. Sam Darnold, he wasn't amazing. 150 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. The 49ers did end up winning this game 17 to 13, and Brock Purdy throwing that touchdown to D'Lo. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not saying this correctly. Jake Tongus.
Mhm.
Um, and they did end up coming away with the dub. That's on the positive side of things. George Kittle today did go to the IR with a hamstring injury. Brock Purdy is also on the injury report with a couple different injuries. But from the game Wednesday, D'Lo, what do you think of your boys? How do you what was your assessment of the 49ers after week one? That makes me happy. That face right there makes me happy.
There's so many problems. Um, the good outcome is we won the game.
Mhm.
Can't be mad at a win, but I'm mad at the win. Um, 26 for 35, 277. I think that's an okay game for Brock. Um, he also threw two touchdowns. Great, fantastic. He threw two really bad interceptions. And Kev mentioned it in our group chat. And I don't know if you were watching this game at all, but if you watched them, they were bad interceptions.
Yeah.
Um, that's unacceptable. You can't have it, right? Um, the other thing is um, Christian McCaffrey is going to get run into the ground, and it's going to be early, and it's going to be on Kyle Shanahan. At 22 carries, only 69 yards. I mean, it's fine. Um, I don't think that that's his game anymore. Is that not why we traded for Brian Robinson to be that power back? I don't really understand it. I don't understand why they're not splitting touches more so that they can save CMC for an eventual playoff push. Um, Obviously, in the receiving game, we know what he does. The standout for me was Ricky Pearsall, 4 for 108, and he ripped some big ones. And especially the last one that led to the game-winning touchdown. So really impressed with Ricky Pearsall. I like what he did. Obviously, George Kittle, he was playing great. He had the touchdown, and then he went out. Now he's on IR. He'll be gone for 4 weeks. Um, on the defense, it's fine. Fred Warner did his thing. Nick Bosa did his thing. Um, the guys on the defense, they did their job. They didn't allow Sam Darnold to just put him in the end zone. I think if you're Seattle, you have to be impressed. Sam Darnold, I mean, he didn't throw any touchdowns. He didn't have crazy yardage, but he didn't turn the ball over. And that's the big key. I think if you're Seattle, Zach Charbonnet getting more touches than Kenneth Walker is questionable. You're paying Kenneth Walker, from what I know, a good chunk of money. So why aren't you utilizing him in that role? JSN continues to impress. No matter the quarterback, he is phenomenal. We want to talk about receivers.
Boy,
That kid.
he's sneaking into that top 10, D'Lo.
But let me tell you, the biggest standout for the Niners, the biggest standout, and Niner fans have been calling for it since last year. Why is Jake Moody still on this football team? He missed another one.
Oh
It's week
man.
one. It's week one. He went 1 for 3 on 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 kicks. His long was 32.
Oh,
He can't kick past the 35-yard line. Why why is Jake Moody still a 49er?
you missed out on Matt Prater.
We should have just retained Robbie Gold. I don't know why we didn't do that. That man was kicking 55-yarders in the playoffs. Jake Moody is going to lead to the downfall of the Niners, and Kyle Shanahan just loves him so much because he used a third-round draft pick on him. And I don't under I yeah.
Hold on. Did he use a third-round draft pick on a kicker?
I'm not too sure. It might have been a 6th-round pick, but it's a draft pick.
Okay. Oh man. I was about to say, if that's the
Yeah.
case, Moody and Shanahan need to go.
Yeah, when was he drafted? While you talk about this game, let me.
All right.
Oh, he was a
Wow.
3rd-round draft pick. However, he
Wow.
was just cut.
Oh, really? Jake Moody was
Yeah.
just cut.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. He was waived. Fuck yeah. Okay. That saves all of my issues are gone. Jake Moody is not a Niner anymore.
Wow.
We signed Eddie Pinero.
Also,
Thank
a
fuck.
3rd-round pick on a kicker.
Yep, 3rd-round kicker.
So
yeah, that's a thing.
that,
But he's
that is
no
nasty
longer a
work.
Niner. I just figured that out literally just now. So, dude, that makes me in such a good mood. We're gonna start making kicks and winning games by more points because our kickers are not gonna miss kicks. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Listen, with Brock Purdy, the one thing he cannot do, and I guess you could say this goes for a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, but specifically Brock Purdy, is you cannot give the ball to the other team. And he got bailed out because he was going against Sam Darnold. He got bailed out because he was going against Sam Darnold. You do that against the Packers. You do that against the Commanders. You do that against the Rams. You lose that football game, D'Lo. You lose that football game, and I don't think it's relatively close. You give guys like Matthew Stafford, Jordan Love, and Jane Daniels 2 extra opportunities to go score the football. You lose that football game. Brock Purdy has to be better. I understand he led the game-winning drive and fine and dandy. Shouldn't have been that. He shouldn't have had to lead a game-winning drive. Brock Purdy has to be better. And C-Mac, I mean, he was going into this game questionable. He's been hurt throughout training camp. 22 carries, 69 yards. It's not great. It's 3 yards a carry. I'm with you, D-Lo. You traded for Brian Robinson for a reason. You give that man more carries. 9 carries is not enough. I understand he's still getting acquitted with the playbook and with the system, and that's cool. He needs to hurry up because he needs to become more of a part of this offense because the receiving game, yes, Ricky Pearsall was great in this game. He was very good. And he's also another one of those guys, those second-year receivers that you're looking to make take that step.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey can't be getting, what's this, 31 touches?
Yeah.
31 touches.
A
He
lot
will
of
break
check
down.
downs, too. A lot of check downs.
He will break down like a Honda Civic, a 1999 Honda Civic. He will break down.
I agree.
The defense did what the defense does. They lost a lot, obviously. They lost Hufanga. They lost Dre Greenlaw. They did what they did. They have Robert Saleh back as the D coordinator, and he came back like he never left.
Love that guy.
Came back like he never left. The bend but no break defense is the defense that the 49ers played on Sunday. On Seattle side of things, I mean, again, it's hard, for whatever reason, it's hard for them to move the ball down the field. They didn't have any turnovers, so they couldn't use that as an excuse. And to your point, D-Lo, and it's not only because Kenneth Walker's on my fantasy team, which why is he only getting 10 touches? But you're only giving your best running back 10 carries. 10 carries. Zach Charbonnet is a good football player. Don't get me wrong.
He's a fantastic football player.
Yep. But D-Lo, I think
he's probably one of the better backups in the league.
Oh, 100%. But he's one of the better what?
Backups.
Oh, okay. So can we give Kenneth Walker the ball?
I don't understand.
What are they doing?
I thought, see, the thing that blows my mind is that when Seattle brought in, I can't remember if it was an offensive coordinator or a new head coach last year. It was one of the two. It might have even been a running back coach. They talked about giving or making Kenneth Walker a 3-down back. He would be out there constantly.
Yep.
And we haven't seen it. I don't know why they went away from it. Kenneth Walker is a great running back in the NFL. He's phenomenal. Maybe it's just the Niner defense and they stumped him, and so they went a different direction in Charbonnet. I don't know, but 10 carries, especially with Sam Darnold. I almost said Aaron. Sam Darnold not throwing the ball down the field. A lot of his throws were short passes and checkdowns.
I don't know. I don't know if he's, again, I don't know. This could be a situation, but he had the entire offseason with this team. He had the entire training camp, preseason with the Seahawks. And so he should be more than comfortable in this offense. And you know who was really, really quiet, D-Lo, and I couldn't even tell that he played? Cooper Kupp. Where was he?
Yeah, he's got to step up as that second receiver now that DK's gone.
I mean, JSN is going to get all the attention, as he should. He had 9 for $124 on Sunday. He's going to get all of the attention. But when that guy gets all the attention and they're sending 2-3 guys towards JSN and Cooper Kupp is going to be one-on-one, he's going to have to win those matchups. Didn't look like he did very much this week. So he's going to have to be better. But yeah, man, D-Lo, George Kittle's a huge hit, though. George Kittle is a huge hit. I mean, he is the second or third best tight end, whether you want to put him second or third. We mentioned Brock Bowers earlier, who is the best tight end in football right now. No debate about it. But he's the second or third best tight end in football, and you just lost him for at least the next 4 weeks. Brock Purdy, again, he's going to have to be great. He's going to have to be great.
And the receivers are just going to have to step up. I mean, obviously, we saw Ricky Pearsall pop off for 4 for 108, but can he be more consistent and get more receptions? Juan Jennings, we just gave him a new contract, 2 for 16. on
He's got to
Sunday.
be
Like
better. Got to
he's
be
got to
better.
be better, especially until Brandon Ayuk comes back. If Brandon Ayuk comes back this year,
Yeah, he's I
so they got to
because I
hold it
mean,
down until these guys get back.
because the success you've seen that Brock Purdy has had is with these guys, with the Debo Samuels of the world,
Debo,
with the Brennan Ayuk's, with the
hmm
George Kittles, with
George
the healthy
Kittles.
Christian McCaffreys. That's where he's had the most success.
Yep.
And two of those guys, three of those guys are gone right now. Debo is obviously in Washington, and Ayuk and Kittle are now hurt. Brock Purdy, it is time for you to show the world that the people who are saying that you are not an elite quarterback, it's time for you to prove them wrong. Because if you can go win, because it's Dilo, it's not like they have the easiest schedule in the NFL, but
hmm
it's still some tough games. You have the Saints
hmm
going in next week. Again, should be a win. Should be a win. Then you have the Cardinals, who again
Yeah.
are not one of the best teams in the NFC, but they are surging.
Yep.
They improved a lot this year.
hmm
Man, Brock Purdy's gonna have to turn up, man. Brock Purdy's
And
going to have to elevate his game.
and if we keep running McCaffrey the way that we are, he's going to go down too, and then he's going to have
No,
nobody.
nobody.
It'll be the
He's gonna have to be better.
defense, and that's it. The defense will be the one scoring. He's got to be better.
All right, D'Lo. Let's talk
Yeah.
about this game. Let's talk about the Vikings and Bears. I guess let's talk about this
Heck
game.
yeah, brother.
JJ McCarthy made his debut. No, okay. Let me be serious. JJ McCarthy made his debut last night on Monday Night Football. He was 13 of 20, 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and obviously was the pick six. He's making his debut. Still, he's got to be better. You throw Devo, you throw that out route, you got to throw it on time because if you
Yep.
don't, exactly what happened last night is going to happen every single time in the NFL. This ain't
It
college.
was it was a nasty pick.
Nasty. You have to throw that out on time. You have to. And so that's where he messed up. Um, I D'Lo, I I kind of like what Minnesota did in this game. Obviously, JJ McCarthy's first start as an NFL quarterback in the regular season. Um, he looked awful in the first half. Looked absolutely terrible in the first half. Looked like he was shook. Looked like he was rattled. Didn't look like he was ready for the bright lights. Second half came around and he turned up his game on a completely new level. Three touchdowns in the fourth quarter. 2 throwing, one rushing. Um, I think D'Lo, one of the more underrated signings in the NFL offseason was Jordan Mason to the Vikings. I
hmm
really, really like that acquisition for them. And he was good yesterday. 15 for
hmm
68, 4.5 yards a carry. He didn't get into the end zone, but that also gives Aaron Jones a chance to also to be more of a receiving threat. As you saw, he caught a passing touchdown yesterday on a very, very, very good throw by JJ McCarthy, I will add. Yeah, Minnesota looked good in the second half. Caleb Williams, 21 to 35, 210, a touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown,
No
but he just
turnovers.
no turnovers. No turnovers. He looked like a top 10 quarterback in the first half, D'Lo. It
hmm
looked very good. Second half couldn't have been worse. Couldn't have been worse. Couldn't move the ball. I listen, and maybe that's the next step for Caleb Williams to be more consistent throughout the entire game.
Yep.
But they put up a fight, and these are the two teams that we're imagining are going to be at the bottom of the NFC North. And maybe Minnesota makes this insane, crazy push. I doubt it with Green Bay and Minnesota, but yeah, D'Lo, what'd you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that um, the Bears really had control the entire game up until the fourth quarter. Again, it's kind of like the Bills Ravens game where the Ravens were in control for the whole game, and then the fourth quarter came and it flipped, right? Um, Caleb Williams, I think the big thing is that he didn't turn the ball over. Um, it doesn't tell me. Give me just 1 second, actually. Um, yeah, only 2 sacks allowed too.
Yep.
So it's not like he was getting sacked 6 or 7 times like last year. He had time in the pocket because again, they revamped that O line. Um, and I think that's a big help for him. Um, I think the sort of downfall in Chicago right now is the run game. Uh, I mean, Caleb Williams can't have more rushing yards than your number one back.
Nasty.
DeAndre
Nasty
Swift,
work.
17 for 53, 3 yards a carry. It's just not going to work. Um, first game without Keenan Allen. We saw Roma Dunze get more of those targets, kind of like we thought he would.
Yeah,
Um,
he played pretty well, D'Lo. I
he
mean, not
he
the
did.
numbers aren't eye popping, but he played a good game.
He played a good game. But I think this again, I think it speaks to um, the really the soul of this Minnesota Vikings team is the defense. Um, they came out and they held Chicago in the second half.
Yep.
Um, and they did their job, and then they allowed JJ McCarthy to sort of find his footing again. All three of his touchdowns came in the fourth quarter. All three of them, his rushing touchdown and his two passing touchdowns. So I think that that's sort of a good confidence boost going into the rest of the season for him. And he'll still have those growing pains, like that really ugly interception that he threw. He threw the out route late and it got jumped like all out routes do.
Yep.
Um, we talked about Jordan Mason. Fantastic pickup. I love Jordan Mason.
D'Lo, he was
I was
good,
so sad. I was so sad to get rid of him.
man.
Um, I mean, other than that, I think that they kind of need to throw the ball more. I feel like you have Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson, you should be throwing the ball more than 20 times in a game. And I understand that he's a rookie QB, but you have the second best receiver. Some may debate this best receiver if you want
Yeah.
to put him above Jamar Chase, whatever you want to do. He's top two in the league. You need to throw the ball more, rookie or not. So yeah, other than that, I mean, the defense did what the defense does. Chicago's defense did what Chicago's defense does up until the fourth quarter. They even got the pick six, obviously. So,
Uh,
yeah,
D'Lo, the one thing that really scares me about Minnesota is their defense. Like you mentioned, they got some boys over there. You go out and they went out and got Javon Hargrave. They beefed up
hmm
that defensive line. They got Javon Hargrave. They got Jonathan Allen. Two
from
guys
San
who
Francisco,
killed
by
it
the way.
from San Francisco. That's another one of the guys
So
he
not
lost.
only Jordan Mason, but Javon Hargrave too. They're
Javon
becoming the
Hargrave.
Minnesota Niners, is what they're doing.
You go out, you get Jonathan Allen. You go out and get Javon Hargrave. So you fill that middle. You're
hmm
stuffing the run. And to your point, D'Lo, they didn't run the ball very well yesterday. The Bears did. They did not run the ball very well. Now that very well could be of the revamped defensive line that the Vikings have. But you go out, you get Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Dallas Turner is supposed to be making that year two jump as the edge rusher. He was drafted
hmm
last year, of course. So he's supposed to be making that jump on the outside and the corners. You have Byron Murphy. You go out and get Isaiah Rogers, who I think was a pretty decent pickup. He didn't play amazing last night. But Isaiah Rogers, Jeff Okuda, the former first round pick out of Ohio State, who has had all this potential, just never really lived up to it. Maybe Brian Flores can get that out of him. This defense is very, very, very intriguing, D'Lo, and could be very, very good. But again, it's going to be hard in a division like this when you're going
Yeah.
against three quarterbacks and three offenses like the Bears, the Lions, and the Packers have. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And this was a fantastic game, D'Lo. It's a fantastic game, 27-24. You mentioned the Bears pretty much had control of it the entire game until the fourth quarter, and JJ McCarthy decided to become Superman. Um,
hmm
but yeah, we all know my dislike for JJ McCarthy because he went to
We
Michigan.
know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
we
It's
know.
cool. Yeah, I hope he sucks. I hope he throws 30 interceptions this season. Speaking of the NFC North, D'Lo, let's get to that other game. This was shocking. Honestly, I think a lot of people would
Yeah.
call this shocking. The Green Bay Packers, they beat the Detroit Lion again, another NFC North matchup, 27-13. and it wasn't even that close. It wasn't even that close, D'Lo. Jordan
Wasn't
Love,
close at all.
no, 16 to 22, 188, two touchdowns. Josh Jacobs ran the ball pretty well. Um, and it's just the thing about the Packers, D'Lo, is the ball is spread around so well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
there's no one, there's no true number one guy. Maybe it was Christian Watson before he got hurt last year, but of course he's coming off an ACL and hoping that the Packers will get him back sometime this season. But nobody had more than 3 receptions. Nobody had more than 3 receptions. And obviously your number one option is Josh Jacobs, is 8. You get him going. Jordan Love was good. He was efficient. Had a passer rating of 128, which is really, really good. A QBR of 92.1 out of 100. I'd say that's pretty good. I think the shocking part, D'Lo, is the Lions. I mean, they couldn't get anything going. I mean, Jared Goff threw the ball 39 times and got a total of 225 passing yards.
Mhm.
A lot of dinking and dunking. A lot of dinking and dunking from the Lions. They could not get the run game going whatsoever. Um, Combined, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery rushed for a total of 4.4 yards a carry. That's not going to get it done. Now, newly acquired Micah Parsons maybe had something to do with that. Who knows? But Packers look good. The Packers look really, really good, D'Lo. And now I'll start out by saying I picked Jordan Love to win MVP this year. That was my pick. I have wholeheartedly been saying he's a top 6, 7 quarterback in the NFL. I think he's a top 5. I think he's the top quarterback in the NFC. And he helped me prove my point on Sunday. This team looks very good. I also picked the Packers to win the NFC North, D'Lo. So again, they're helping me prove my prediction, my guess for the season. But the Lions, I mean, this was shocking, D'Lo.
Yeah, and I just want to say before I, dive into this game, um, the score makes it look a lot closer than it really was. Like a lot
Agreed.
closer than it really was. Like a two touchdown game, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Like there are probably some possessions that just went wrong and it could have been a lot closer than it really was. No, this game was not close at all. This was a one lot. It was a beatdown, really. Um, we'll start with Jared Goff because year in and year out, I say that Jared Goff is bound to take the Detroit Lions because I had the Detroit Lions coming out of the NFC when we did our predictions. I said Detroit, they're finally going to do it. Year in and year out, Jared Goff, he's a letdown. He
Yeah.
threw another. He's prone to throwing picks. He is a game manager. I feel like we can say that with confidence.
Yeah.
Um, he's not going to get it done. And if you're Detroit, I would look into either trading for a guy or drafting a guy that you can eventually 3, 4 years from now replace with Jared
And
Goff
move on
with.
from Jared Goff. Yeah.
Move off of Jared Goff because I don't like I want to believe in the Lions so much and I love watching them play, but he's just not going to get it done. And the thing is that he completed a majority of those 39 attempts. He completed
Yeah.
31 of them. The problem is that um I don't know, let's say 25 of that 31 were checkdowns.
Yep. 100%.
It's just it's not going to work. Um I don't know what happened to the run game today. I want to say it's just that Packers' new defense, and it stubbed them out. I don't think that we will see another game like this where both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are under 30 yards. I don't think it happens again for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. I think this is an anomaly from the run game. From the pass game, um, Jahmyr Gibbs is your reception leader, and that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all checkdowns. Obviously, Sam Laporta led in receiving yards. He had 6 for 79. Um, Amon Ra, we know he's good around the 10 to 13 yards of reception, and that's where he was. He had 4 for 45.
Yep.
Um, JMO, their deep ball threat, couldn't get anything. Um,
No.
they they had nothing. There was nothing going. The defense couldn't stop Jordan Love or Josh Jacobs. Couldn't do it.
No.
Um, Part of that is probably just because of everything that they lost on the defense. They lost a lot of good pieces from last year's defense. Um, the Packers, though,
They look good, D'Lo.
they look so good.
They look
Um,
good.
Jordan Love didn't have to throw the hell out of the ball to win this game.
Mm-mm.
Um, Only 22 attempts, but he had almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And D'Lo, you see that
Um,
magic number? See that magic number of 0?
yeah, I see it.
Kept him upright.
I see
They
it.
kept him upright. You give that
Yeah.
man time, he's going to slice and dice you. That is who Jordan Love is.
And I think the good thing is he's healthy this year. He was in
Yep.
and out last year. I
Mhm.
feel like he's coming into this year. He's fully healthy. He's had the offseason to recoup and rest and get everything sorted. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong about not including him in these top quarterback conversations. Josh Jacobs, I still feel like is the heart and soul of this offense, though.
100%.
It runs on Josh Jacobs, and if he can
Yep.
get going, um, it opens everything up. Considering that they don't have a number one receiver. Um, Obviously, you mentioned Christian, but I thought it was going to be Jaden Reed. I've always thought it was going to be Jaden Reed. Nobody had above 3 receptions. You mentioned
Nobody.
it. Nobody. So obviously Jaden Reed is their end zone threat when they get down, third and goal, second and goal, and they want to throw the ball. I think you
Mhm.
have a good idea that Jaden Reed will be the target, right?
Yeah.
Um, but they just don't have the one. So if Josh Jacobs can't get going, that's the struggle for me with the Packers is can can they get the throwing game? Can the receivers get open? Because obviously Jordan Love can make those throws. I think that's the key for Green Bay.
And D'Lo, the thing with the Lions is if they fall behind, there's a good chance they lose that football game. We talked about the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens. The Bills went down 50. They were down 15 in the fourth quarter. If that's the Lions, they lose that ball game because of one reason.
Can't
Jared
run
Goff.
the football.
Like Jared Goff is like you mentioned, he is the end all be all. He's a game manager. That's just what he is. If it works, it works. It didn't work on Sunday, D'Lo. It didn't work. So if you go down, which means they have to go away from the run game. I want you to realize combined, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs had one more carry than Josh Jacobs had for the entire game.
Yep.
So they had to go away from the run game because they fell behind. And so then you
Mhm.
put the ball in Jared Goff's hands. I don't know if you remember, D'Lo, last year, week 2, the Detroit Lions played Tampa Bay. Jared Goff threw the ball for 55 times. They lost that football game. They
Mhm.
lost that football game.
I remember
Jared
that game.
Goff, yep. And we talked a lot about that game too.
Mhm.
Jared Goff relies a lot on the run game. And so if you fall behind and have to trust and put the ball in Jared Goff's hands to bring you back, I do not like the chances for the Detroit Lions. It's just what it is. It was the same way when he was in LA with the Rams, and it's been the same thing here. Jared Goff cannot win you a football game on his own. That's what it is. And that's the way the world go around. And that's what
Trust
happened
me,
today.
I know that all too well because I think a lot of people are starting to see that Brock Purdy might be the same way
It's worrisome, D'Lo.
because
It's
they
worrisome.
lean so heavily on Christian McCaffrey. Kind of like Jahmyr Gibbs is. They
Yeah.
lean on him for running too, but in the passing game, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. He is the pass down back. It's just
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. And 10 receptions for 31 yards, D'Lo. Uh,
Yeah.
it's
They,
not it's not a good way of success.
yeah, they couldn't get anything. And I don't know if you want to attribute that to not having Ben Johnson anymore, so their playing calling is just not what it used to be, which is something that you brought up last season. Um, or if it's simply just because the Packers defense is legit. I guess we'll kind of have to wait and see a couple weeks to see which of the two is true or both, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is an ugly look if you're Detroit. They could not get anything past the yardstick. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Detroit does. I still do like Detroit a lot. I think it's going to be them and the Packers competing for that top spot in the NFC North. They didn't start out the season very well. Again, especially against the team that they are going to be directly competing with for the division. They did not start out well. Real quick, D'Lo, we don't have to spend too much time on this. But opening night, Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles do end up coming out on top, 24-20. The big story in this one, though, D'Lo, was before even the first snap of the game, Jalen Carter, obviously probably the best player on defense for the Eagles, goes and spits on Dak Prescott. Spits on him. This Oh man. You know what? Let me get your thoughts on this because that is when I saw that I was like, one, that was just stupid because you got ejected and you're the best player on defense for the Eagles. And two, that is the most disrespectful thing you can ever do to a person. Tila, what were your thoughts on Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I want to say that I don't know if he's the best player on that defense because Zach Bond is elite.
Zach Bond is pretty
But
good.
anyways, back to this. Um, yeah, yeah, it's not a good look at all, in all honesty. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got suspended for a couple of games because of it.
So I'll actually I actually forgot to mention it. Sorry. The NFL did announce today that they're using the game that he got ejected as a time served almost as that's his suspension.
And that's bullshit.
I agree. I
That's bullshit.
100% agree.
He should be suspended. Ooh, if I had to pick a minimum, right? At least 3 games. At the very
Yeah.
least, I
It's
think
hard to
he
argue.
should serve upwards of 5, realistically. I mean, that's the most disrespectful thing that you can do just man to man, right? Human to
Yeah.
human. You don't do that. And that's the thing. He's young. He is a young player. Um, he only got drafted what, a few years ago? So
Yeah. Yeah. 2 or 3 years ago.
3 years ago, but he was trouble coming out of college too. He had a
Yeah.
lot of
It's the
controversy
reason he
coming out of
fell.
college. Yep.
D'Lo, he was supposed to go 2 or 3 overall in the draft. He fell to
hmm
11 because of the outfield stuff he had.
So, I mean, this isn't the first time. Um, I hope it doesn't become a pattern. I hope he learns from this. Um, but it's not a good look. And even if I was his teammates, I would start looking at him a little wonky, like, you know what, you really just did that, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, especially to Dak Prescott of all people, because regardless of what I say about Dak Prescott on the field,
Mm,
Dak Prescott off the field is one of the best people in the NFL.
agreed.
With
Wholeheartedly.
the all of the stuff that he supports and all of the players that he goes up and talks to after the game, and he talks about their personal life instead of football, and you see these conversations in these clips and you're just like, wow, Dak is just a really great guy,
Yeah.
outside of being a really bad quarterback. So sorry, I had to sneak one in there, but it's just like I don't understand why you would do that, considering Dak Prescott is the guy that he is. That is what doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know if there's a correlation here. Maybe Dak said something to him, but he doesn't strike me as a guy.
But D'Lo, there is nothing. I don't care if you are the most. I don't care if I hate you the most in the world. I
Oh,
don't.
I
And I don't
agree.
hate anybody else. There is nothing anybody should be able to say for someone to
Nope.
spits on them. D'Lo, you spit on the ground.
hmm
You spit on the ground. So me spitting on somebody is me calling you equivalent to the dirt, the ground. That's how disrespectful. I don't understand what like he came across his mind. So you know what? Should I spit on Dak Prescott? Should I not spit on Dak Prescott? That went across his mind. He then continued to spit on the man, David. Now, me? And I understand Jalen Carter's a big dude. I understand that. And I'm not getting ejected from the game. Oh boy. You better believe I'm finding a way to make sure he pays for it. Even D-Lo, I'm devious. Like, I'll make sure he pays for it and he won't know it's for me. Like, he'll just be going to get it in his car and just his like tires are slashed. I don't like something. He will. Oh my god! Like he would. I would get his phone number and leak it. It would be so like you're gonna spit on me. We're playing a game. We play a game and get paid millions of dollars for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a man, I'm a man. You have a family, I have a family. And you're going to spit on me because you think whatever I said or whether or not he said something, but he believes that he's low enough. He believes he's nothing enough to spit on. Oh man. See, I would probably react the same way as Dak Prescott, but Jalen Carter would have something coming towards. I don't know what it would be. I don't know what I would be. And I would really have to take my time to think about it because he needs to make sure he pays for that. I don't know what it would be, but it would be awful. Oh, it'd be awful. Now, he wouldn't get hurt. I do want to clarify him or anybody he cares about wouldn't get hurt. But oh man. Go take the engine out of his car or something. I would be furious. Oh my gosh. There's that, D'Lo.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought we'd talk about that for a few seconds. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Only
all right,
one thing
D'Lo.
that should be getting spit on, and we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Cut that out of the video.
Should I cut that? I don't know if I want to cut that out of the video.
Remove that from the video.
I don't know. We're coming back. We got some momentum. Hey, that might just take us to the next level. That might just put us in the next tier.
You know what? Clip it.
Well, you don't tell me. You ain't got to tell me twice. No, D'Lo. This obviously was week 1 of the NFL season, which means it was the first game for some NFL players of their NFL career. And I'm talking about rookies, of course, NFL rookies that were drafted this year. And let's talk about them. Let's talk about some of them, D'Lo. Is there one, and we'll kind of go back and forth, but who is one that stood out to you in week 1?
It's kind of hard to not say Cam Ward.
Yep.
If you were simply just looking at the stats and you see 12 for 28 for 112 yards, you would be like, oh my God, this guy sucks. That's not the story here. If you watched this game and you not only saw like the throws that he was making, but if you saw his offensive line and how they didn't protect a damn thing the entire game,
oh my gosh,
it'd be crazy. They allowed 6 sacks on Cam Ward throughout this game, and I understand that Denver's defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
His receivers have butter hands.
All of them.
They got butter hands.
They all ate a bucket of popcorn with their gloves on before the game.
I don't know what happened. All of them. And I think a majority of the NFL fans saw his fourth quarter throws, especially the Calvin Ridley one. Calvin Ridley, man, you've been in the league way too long to be dropping passes like that.
Goodness gracious, D'Lo. That's a veteran.
So it's bad. So again, if you're watching the stats, you would say that this is not a good performance. But for me, he showed so many flashes of good. Um, Now his pocket presence has to be better. Obviously, the offensive line isn't blocking anything, but you have to be able to sense that pressure coming and step up, or like he did, roll out. And a lot of the times where he rolled out, if he would have just stepped up in the pocket, he would have been fine. He would have been able to do something. I think that's something that he'll just have to work on. That's an adjustment on the NFL level that he just is not ready for yet. Um, Other than that, in terms of him throwing the football, I like what I saw.
Yeah, D'Lo, I had Cam Ward on my list too. Cam Ward, obviously, like you said, numbers aren't eye popping. 12 of 28, 112 yards. They weren't eye popping, but he made some throws, D'Lo. And like you said, there were some receivers that just blatantly dropped it, just in and out, just two hands on the ball and just dropped it. But he made some throws, D'Lo. Like, wow, okay, that guy can throw the ball a little bit. And you saw it at Miami, of course, but the way he was throwing the ball, some of the arm angles in which he was throwing the ball. Like you said, he got sacked 6 times. But like he is going to be a good player in this league. And I don't think he's been talked about enough. And going into the season, obviously, everybody's talking about Travis Hunter and some of these other guys, but Cam Ward, he showed some flashes in this game. Where like, okay, his pocket presence, he has a pretty good pocket presence, but it's also week 1. It was his first ever NFL game.
Yep.
But some of the throws he was making looked pretty good. All right. One rookie that stood out to me, boy. Should have been a first round pick. I talked about him a little bit earlier. Will Johnson. Will Johnson was fantastic. He did not only have one of the best performances of the rookies in the NFL, but he had one of the best performances, period, in week 1. He was fantastic. He had 3 pass breakups. He allowed 4 catches for 32 yards. He had a huge hit on one of the great receivers in the NFL, on Chris Olave. He had an interception that should have been an interception, but got called back on a BS illegal contact call. Will Johnson made plays. He made plays. And the thing is, aside from his big hit on Chris Olave, we didn't hear his name very much in the game, D'Lo. For a cornerback, that is a great thing. That is a great thing. You do not want to hear Will Johnson's name all the time during the broadcast, because that means they're going after him and it's working and he's allowing all these yards. That wasn't the case, D'Lo. He was fantastic. He was disciplined. You saw the brain that he has, the football IQ that he has on display against the Saints. Again, with the big hit, he read the bubble screen and when it lit up Chris Olave. There was another play. It was a little option route. I forget who it was, but it was somebody ran a little option route and he read it like a book. And he was behind him, knocked the ball away from him. Another one of pass breakups. Had a great pass breakup in the end zone to prevent a touchdown. Will Johnson absolutely flashed off my television this weekend, D'Lo. And this is just the start of what I think is going to be a fantastic NFL career for Will Johnson. Yeah. Oh no, D'Lo got some new technology and he's showing off. He's showing his stuff off. So that's all right. It's okay, D'Lo. Go ahead, bougie. A little bougie. Uh-oh. Are you muted?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me
there
now?
he is. Yep.
I don't know what happened. That shit just disconnected.
Atta
That's
boy.
sick.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
David Largo, what other rookie stood out to you this in week 1?
Um, I don't know if you even tuned into this game at all. The Giants Commanders game. Did you tune in at all?
I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, it was on TV at work.
Um, Abdul Carter.
It's a good
Um,
one.
he showed flashes. And really that's what you look for in these rookies. You're not looking for the standout performers because that could be a one-time fluke. Um, looking at the guys who kind of had an okay game that showed a lot of promise. Um, got in there for a sack with Kevon Thibodeau in this game. So you see his pass rushing is, I mean, that's why he was drafted as high as he was. Um, but not only that, but he's just, if you look at the film, he did a lot right. He's got some ugly in there. He's got some good ugly in there. Um, but overall, if you look at the tape, he could be what they thought they wanted Kevon Thibodeau to be.
Yeah, yeah, he flashed, and he's got the ability, D'Lo. I mean, you could just see it immediately. Now, yeah, again, he combined. You like you said, he combined for the only sack the Giants had on the day. Or, I'm sorry, they had 3 sacks, but
They had three
um,
sacks. Yeah,
yeah. So he combined for a sack with Kayvon Thibodeau. And you can again, he's very very fast off the line. He's a big body. He covers a lot of ground. Yeah, Abdul Carter definitely.
and it
Um,
kind of helps when you have Dexter Lawrence taking up two or three
Goodness.
people.
I mean, that D'Lo, this defensive line should honestly be one of the best in football. You have
He is a
Dexter
big
Lawrence,
boy,
who is just a wall.
just a
He's the
wall.
same size. He's the same size as a Chevy Silverado.
Yep, he is
Uh,
huge.
There's no difference between Dexter Lawrence and a Chevy Silverado.
No,
Um,
not at all.
he's a problem. And I mean, when you have Kayvon Thibodeau on one side, Abdul Carter on one side, and then and switch them out for Brian Burns, and I mean, this honestly should be one of the best defensive lines in football. Now, for the rest of the
Brian
team,
Burns had 2 sacks.
he
He had
that's
the
a good
other
football
two
player.
sacks.
That's a very good football player.
Yeah.
I'm going to another defensive guy. I'm going Malachi Starks of the Baltimore Ravens, the safety in Baltimore. I think he made some plays. Again, it's week 1. He wasn't amazing, but I think he made some plays. He should have had the pick. He dropped a diving interception that should have been an interception. He made that play, so he was there. He was always. I always saw him around the ball. He was always around the ball making plays. Malachi Starks definitely stood out to me. I think Baltimore has the potential to be the best safety duo in the NFL with Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton. I think that the potential for those two, obviously, Kyle Hamilton is no further than top 3 in terms of safeties in the NFL. I think Malachi Starks could be not in that top 3 conversation, but I think him and Kyle Hamilton could be the very best safety duo in football. Not this year, but in the coming years. I think I really, really, really like Malachi Stark's game. D'Lo, who else you got? Who else stood out to you this year? Or not this year, week 1.
Yeah, my last guy was a guy that you mentioned, Will Johnson. And you said it best. When you don't hear a corner's name come up, that's a good thing. Um, he was phenomenal. And again, you have to take it with a grain of salt because it is the Saints.
Mhm.
But I also can't knock it because these are NFL players and they can play at an NFL level. And
Absolutely.
so I like what I saw. I think that he will be the meat of the secondary with Buda Baker. Um,
Yeah,
obviously, Buda Baker was exceptional on Sunday too.
he was
But
great.
again, when you don't hear a name come up and you're in the secondary, you're doing a great job. So
Yeah, my last one, D'Lo. Actually, just to add on to that, the nice thing about Will Johnson that I think he's benefiting from is he's not starting against guys like Patrick Mahomes and
mhm.
Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. He's not starting against guys like that. He's starting Spencer Rattler, obviously, he only played 6 games last year. He's a second-year guy. He's not great. Okay, welcome to the NFL. This is kind of an appetizer. Okay, then you go to Bryce Young next week. Okay, Bryce Young, he showed some flashes. He's a number 1 overall pick. He's good. Okay, now this is the next step. Okay, then here's Brock Purdy. He's been really good. Okay, but
Mhm.
he's not, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, but he's pretty good. Like he's leveling up. Like he's not starting at 100, right? He's not
And then
starting at 100
Sam
and coming
Darnold
back
the
down. And then
following
Sam
week.
Darnold, right? So he's slowly learning Now, again, obviously the Cardinals don't make their own schedule. Now, again, God willing, that's the schedule that they were given. And so thankfully, that's how he's learning. And I think that's the best way for him to learn.
And realistically, he should be mid-season performance by the time they face their first legitimate QB. You can maybe throw Brock Purdy in there if you want to, but for me, it comes week 7 against the Packers, and we see how he does against Jordan Love.
Yep.
So he's got 7 weeks.
Yeah, before he gets to an elite quarterback.
Yep.
Elite. Yeah, and even that, DLO, I mean, they don't have this certified stud number 1 guy.
Yeah,
they have Matthew Golden, who's their first round pick, but they don't have like this number 1 top 10 receiver. Yeah. So
we'll see it where Christian Watson comes back in at some point. I think that won't be until probably later half of the midseason, maybe week 10 to 12-ish, if I had to guess. Assuming that rehab is going fine. From what I know, it's still going fine for him. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. Christian Watson is a good player. Christian Watson is a good football player. All right, my last one. I gotta go. OH. No, nothing. OH. No. Okay, not bad. Emeka Egbuka.
Only one of us is a Buckeyes guy here. There's only one.
Emeka Egbuka, one of my favorite collegiate athletes of all time, the rookie out of Ohio State. He absolutely flashed off my television on Sunday. 4 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game-winning touchdown. I'm not surprised by this at all, DLO. Emeka Egbuka has always had some very, very good hands. He's not a speed demon. He doesn't run 4.2, 4.3. He's not going to beat you down the field. He's going to route you up. He's going to win those 50-50 balls. That's who Emeka Egbuka was in college. That's who he's going to be in the NFL. And he showed that on Sunday. Emeka Egbuka was fantastic. Again, I saw a story today that he called the post route. He said, I want the post route. I want the ball. As a rookie in their first NFL game, DLO, that's ridiculously impressive. And he showed out. He showed out, led the team in receiving yards. Mike Evans had the 5 catches, but obviously led the team in touchdown receptions with 2. Led the team in yards per catch. He was good. He was very, very good and made plays when he absolutely had to. Hence the game-winning touchdown on Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. So, Emeka Egbuka, my guy, my boy, my Buckeye, man.
Had to give him a shout out. I think he'll be a great step in until Chris Godwin comes back.
Absolutely.
Obviously,
that's going to be a mean 3-headed monster.
Obviously, you still think of Mike Evans as the number 1 until Chris Godwin gets back. Because Chris Godwin, I don't think people remember, but Chris Godwin was leading the league in reception yards last year until he got hurt. And then Jamar Chase obviously took him over, won the Triple Crown, etc. Right? Yeah. Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield have a really special connection out there in Tampa Bay. He's phenomenal, and I hope that they can get back to that level. And I hope that Tampa Bay realizes when they have won a football game, they will take out their receivers and not get them hurt. I pray that they've learned their lesson.
Todd Bowles, can you step into my office? Todd, can you step into my office? We need to have a chat. Let's talk.
But they've got a 3-headed monster brewing over there. Obviously, we know Mike Evans. The consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. He's good for pop-off games whenever, along with those 3 touchdowns. Let me throw a fade to the corner and jump over everybody. Right.
Yep.
Chris Godwin, sort of their primary, and now you have Emeka, who popped off first game. I mean, it's scary.
Starts his career.
Especially with the second year coming for Bucky Irving, who I'm a big fan of Bucky Irving. So I think Tampa Bay could be really nice this year.
Also, side note, DLO, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Michael Penix Jr. looked really good.
Yeah. Kind of makes you realize, really good. Why did they pay Kirk Cousins any money at all?
Now he's sitting on the bench getting paid $40 million to do nothing.
Also, shout out to Bijan Robinson for being the dual
Boy.
threat that we all knew he would be.
Hey, D'Lo, that's a bad dude. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. You break me down the way that Bijan Robinson is breaking some of these people down. You getting the same Jalen Carter treatment. I'm getting back at you. I don't care what I have to do. I'm getting back at you. You break me down like that on national television. Oh yeah, I'm filling your car with push pins. I don't like you are not getting away with that.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. And they had a super balanced attack too. Kyle
yeah, they
Pitts
did.
was, 7 for 59. Drake London, 8 for 55. Drake
Yep.
London is a nasty dude too. I know he's
Man,
out
that's
in
a bad
Atlanta,
boy,
so not a lot of people know about him.
Drake London.
But Drake London he's tough too. He was
All
pushing one of my top tens last year too. So
right, D'Lo. It's time. We are back to our weekly segment here on Gumball Sports Machine, in which we call it Gumball and DLO's Polo Power. It is about that time this week in which we give our poll of power, and it is a ranking of the best NFL teams after week 1. Now we are going to give you an honorable mention, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, and most importantly, number 1. Now, David Largo, do you have an honorable mention for this week?
yeah, but before I give my honorable mention, I just want to say shout out to Puka Nakua for being in the intro. He's not on the list today because the Rams really didn't perform all that great week
Didn't
one,
look
but
great.
he
Oh
popped
boy.
off 10 for 130.
Yep. After
That,
he got hit and started bleeding all over the place and was
yep.
looking like a WWE match.
Yeah, shout out to Puka
Yep.
Nakua. He's also one
My
of my
boy.
favorites in the NFL for sure.
My boy.
But my honorable mention this week is going to the Chargers, actually. Um, a lot of people might consider them in their top five because, oh, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Um, but as I've learned time and time again, you can't overestimate a week one performance, no matter who it is.
Yep.
And there are teams ahead of them that I had, being in this top five that played well and I think are more deserving. Although I wanted to give the shout out here. Justin Herbert had a game of his life against Patty Mahomes. He did yeah. 25 for 34. He had 3 touchdowns. And their receivers, they had, speaking of three-headed monsters out there, they've got one. Quentin Johnston, 5 for 79, 2 touchdowns. Glad McConkey went 6 for 74. And, the returning Charger, Keenan Allen,
The old man.
he went 7 for 68 with a touchdown. So, I mean, I wanted to give him an honorable mention spot at least, but I don't want to put them there yet if this is a fluke.
Um, well, okay. Well, my honorable mention is the team that they beat. Kansas City Chiefs are my honorable mention this week.
Ain't no way.
Hey, man, hey, listen.
Ain't
Honesty
no
is
way.
the best policy. That's what my daddy told me growing up. Honesty is the
It's
best policy.
it is week one, and we're already on the Mahomes meat rider. Here we go.
Listen. Now, I would put them in the top 5, but they lost. You know what I'm saying? They lost. But
Here
they're
we
my
go.
honorable
We'll
mention.
listen. We'll listen.
Kansas City. Now, they didn't look great. They did not look great. Um, I think Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, has definitely took a step, and hopefully that connection between him and Patrick Mahomes has improved. Travis Kelsey looked very old.
He's
Started to
he's
sound.
engaged. Don't know
Oh
why he's
yeah,
still playing football.
that's a great question, David Largo. Why is he still playing football? He's married to the biggest pop star in the world. Um, but yeah, Travis Kelsey didn't look great. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes. He made Patrick Mahomes plays. He made Patrick Mahomes things happen. Just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. They need to run the ball so much better, D'Lo. They need
Isaiah
to run the
Pacheco
ball
has to get
so
going.
has to. Has to. And yes, Mahomes is a guy, obviously, who can go win you a football game. But don't make him go win every single football game. Give him some help every once in a while. You have to be able to run the football. They did not do that on Friday night. And the defense didn't look great either. Chris Jones made a very, very bad mistake. He was on the edge, and that last drive of the game for the Chargers, he was on the edge, went inside, and allowed Justin Herbert to go and run for 20 some odd yards to seal the game. So defense looked shaky. Run game couldn't get anything going. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes. So they are my honorable mention for this week. David
Yeah,
Largo.
hold on. Before we move on, I just want to say the Chiefs running the ball 11 times outside of Patrick Mahomes' 6 scrambles, not gonna
Nope.
cut it.
That will get you a quick trip home in the playoffs. Quick trip.
Yeah, the Patrick Mahomes led the team in carries.
Yeah.
Can't happen.
Cannot happen. Never.
Andy Reid, you got to do better. Run the ball more. I understand you have the best football player in the world. Run the ball more.
Help him. He's not. Yes, he's the best player in the world. He's not Superman. Help
Which
him.
I honestly don't understand because Isaiah Pacheco was averaging 5 yards a carry.
Why would you go away from it?
Don't know.
Why would you go?
Don't know. Anyways, moving on.
Who's your number 5? Who's the 5th best team in the NFL?
My number 5, I have the Commanders.
Okay.
Coming into this year, coming off of the NFC Championship loss, I had them in my top 5. Obviously, they beat the Giants, so not a whole lot to go off of. But Jaden Daniels was still Jaden Daniels, 19 for 30, 233 and a touchdown, no turnovers. And Debo
He looks good.
he looked like the best receiver on the field. He
Looks
had
good,
his
man.
one rush, so maybe they still use him like they did in San Francisco. Who knows? But one rush, and that rush led to the touchdown, obviously. But outside of that, he had 7 receptions for 77 yards.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to argue. So um, they held the Giants to 6 points, and again, it's the Giants, and they have Russell Wilson, and now the Giants fans are already calling for Jackson Dart.
Already.
um,
It's been
Already
1 week.
one week of Russell Wilson, and that's all it gives you.
It's gone.
But 6 points, that's pretty good for the defense. And they didn't put up a super big explosion of points, but they still were in control of a majority of the game, and I liked what they did week 1.
My number 5 are the Los Angeles Chargers. I really like the way that Justin Herbert looked. Defensively, they didn't look too bad. Again, especially going against Patrick Mahomes. They didn't look too bad. They looked okay. Obviously, you still have some pieces over there. You lost Joey Bosa, but you still have Derwin James, who's one of the best second or safeties in the NFL. Still have some playmakers over there in Los Angeles, and Justin Herbert looked amazing. He looked like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL on Friday. And so he made plays. He was fantastic. Made some very, very good throws. One of them being to Keenan Allen for a touchdown. Offensively, you have a bunch of weapons. You have Quentin Johnston. You have Lad McConkey, and you have Keenan Allen. All 3 guys who made things happen on Friday. And Jim Harbaugh, he's doing Jim Harbaugh things with the quarterback. He's doing things. He's doing his quarterback whispering with Justin Herbert, and he looked really good. He looked really good on Friday. The Chargers are my number 5. Quattro. David Largo. Who's the 4th best team in the NFL?
At my number 4, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow. Okay.
Um, and they sort of slid down my ranking of this week. Obviously, they won Thursday night against Dallas. Um, Saquon and Hurts rushing, yeah. I mean, kind of hard to lose a game. Saquon 18 for 60 with a touchdown, and Jalen Hurts 14 for 62 with 2 touchdowns. It's kind of hard to lose a game when those are your rushing leaders. um,
Yeah.
but the reason that they slid down, and the main issue that I've had with Jalen Hurts for a while, is of him throwing the football. Um, Only 150 yards. Obviously, he was efficient on those 150 yards, 19 for 23. But your two main guys, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. AJ Brown 1 for 8 and Smitty 3 for 16. It
Yeah.
it's concerning for me because if Saquon is not there and the run game can't get going and you can't get the tush push on the 1 yard line, can I rely on Jalen Hurts? Um, that's always been my big issue with him. And so to see it again week one come up, it's kind of iffy for me. Outside of the fact that I just think that there was another NFC team that played better than them this week, and we'll get there. So, yeah, I've got him at number 4.
All right. My number 4 is your number 5. I have the Washington Commanders at number 4. Jane Daniels looks like Jane Daniels. He picked right up where he left off last year. I understand he was playing against the Giants, but that Giants team has a very, very, very good pass rush. And he held his own. He had a very good game against them. I think it's going to be him and it's going to be them and the Eagles competing for the NFC East. Can the Eagles, obviously, the defending Super Bowl champions, but the Commanders look really good. They did what they were supposed to. I think that was the biggest takeaway from that game to me. They did what they were supposed to against a lesser team. And if they want to compete for a Super Bowl, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to beat the teams they're supposed to beat and do it in a dominant fashion. Um, and that's exactly what they did on Sunday. So the Commanders look really good. Obviously the addition of Deebo Samuel, who had a fantastic game on Sunday. Ja'Cory Krosky Bill, the rookie running back, had a very good game, 10 for 82, and a touchdown. So he was pretty good. So yeah, Commanders, I think they look really good defensively. They get a little older. They go out and get Von Miller and Bobby Wagner. They still have Deron Payne on that front seven. So I'm liking what I see from the Commanders. So they are my number 4. Number 3, D'Lo, who do you have at number 3?
My number 3 is the only team that I have on my list that actually lost week one. I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. Um, the only team that lost week one. And they are still as high as they are because they still impressed me week one. And it's kind of hard not to have them here after the game that we witnessed. I mean, 40 points and they lost. I mean, what more do you want, really? Um, Obviously, we got to start Lamar Jackson, 14 for 19 in the air for 209 and 2 touchdowns. And on the ground, 6 for 70 and a rushing touchdown. And hurt. Zay Flowers, 7 for 143 and a touchdown. Can't
Yeah.
hurt.
No.
Derrick
No.
Henry in his old age, where everyone says he's going to fall off a cliff, and year after year, he proves us he's not going to fall off this cliff. 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns.
No,
Like
that
it's
can't hurt. That can't hurt
no,
too
it
much.
can't hurt at all.
Now he just has to
Um,
hold on to the football, though. That's the next step.
he does. And of the top three, obviously they're the only ones that lost. However, the Ravens still impressed me more than 4 or 5 an honorable mention, just in terms of how they played. I feel like if they would have played anyone that wasn't the Bills or my number 2 team, um, they would have won. They would have won this week. So
Um,
yeah, I got
this
Baltimore.
is. I feel like a noob. I feel like a bum. I'm gonna have to make some changes.
Did you not put Baltimore? Did you
No,
forget about Baltimore because they lost?
I forgot about. No, because the thing I was making my list, and I was like, okay, they're definitely making the list, but they're not number 1.
Yeah.
And then I just completely forgot to put them on the list completely. So you can go ahead and throw the Chargers off, throw them in the garbage, throw them in the
We're
dumpster, throw them
we're
in
not
the
we're not we're not kicking the Chiefs off of honorable mentions, and we can't put the Chargers there because
the
they've.
Chargers. Yeah, the Chargers can be an honorable mention. Yeah, they'll be there. Fine,
Yes,
whatever,
yes.
whatever. Fine.
Shout out to everyone that
Chiefs.
watches GSM that's watching this right now, and they see that I convinced them to kick Patty Mahomes to the curb for 1 week. 1 week.
Patty Mahomes is off the list completely.
Yes.
He's off the list
We've done it,
completely.
guys. We've done it. We've done it.
All right, you see, there you go. I'm about to put him at number one. You keep messing around. I'm about to put him at number one. Okay, so yeah, take the Chargers off, put them at honorable mention, kick the Chiefs off, whatever. Yeah, and put the Ravens at number 5 for me. My number 3 team, though, David Largo, is the Green Bay Packers. David, you know how much of a fan I am of Jordan Love. They looked very, very good. They beat the best team in the regular season in the NFC last season. Them and the Eagles, but the second best team, maybe I should say, in the NFC, and they beat them handedly, DLO. And you go out and you improve your defense. I don't care what you gave up. Yeah, I don't care if you gave up Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks or your entire defense. You go out and get Micah Parsons, and your defense gets better. And that's exactly what they did. Micah Parsons had a sack, I think 3 pressures. So he made his impact on the game, and he's only going to get more comfortable in that defense. And then Jordan Love was Jordan Love. You know, he didn't have gaudy numbers. He only threw for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, spread the ball out really, really well. They ran the ball pretty effectively. I love Matt LaFleur as a coach. I think he is one of the best in the NFL and definitely one of the best in the NFC. But I think the Packers are only going to get better, again, based on what they just did to the Lions, who were in the divisional round of the playoffs last year and scored 45 points or whatever it was. And you hold them to, I mean, I'm going to say 6. I mean, the score was 13, but that late BS touchdown. Now, again, that was a great catch by Isaac Tesla. I do want to put that out for his first career catch. Yep. It's pretty nice. That was a fantastic catch. But that BS late garbage touchdown, you hold that team to 6 points.
Yep.
The team that led the NFL in points per game last year. David, I don't care. I don't know if the people in the back heard me. You held the team that led the NFL in points per game last season to just 13 points.
Realistically, 6.
And realistically 6 without the garbage touchdown. That is an improved football team. That is a team I have winning the division. And that is the team I have number 3 in the NFL right now in Gumball and DLO's Polar Power. David Largo, at number 2, you have.
You're number 3. I've got the Green Bay Packers at number 2. I think that they were the most impressive NFC team to play this week. And you talked about it, Jordan Love. Numbers are not eye-popping, but he managed the game so well.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs, we talked about him, 19 for 66 and a touchdown. He makes the offense go. But the defense is the key here. 6 points until a garbage time TD. That's like those people that win in the NBA and, you know, Giannis is up there putting up a layup and missing to get a triple-double. That's what that was at the end of the game right there. All right. It was for the stats. They held them to 6 points. The defense is elite. The offense is only going to get better. The Packers are number 2.
My number 2 are the defending champions, Philadelphia Eagles. I understand their showing on Thursday wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. But you still have, in my opinion, the best running back in football, along with the best offensive line in football, and one of the 2 best wide receiver combinations in football. And, you know, you have a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. Now, so you say however you want, he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's pushing, he's on the border of top 10. but he makes plays, and he was pretty good on Thursday. Jalen Hurts was, and defensively, I mean, you still have obviously Jalen Carter. He's dumb and did that stupid thing. He got ejected, but Jalen Carter is still one of the better players on in the NFL defensively.
Mhm.
You have two corners that are going into year two, the biggest jump you're going to make in your career, and you have both of those guys going into year two, and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And you lose Darius Slay, who was getting older. He didn't really, not really too good. So not really too big of a loss. And DLO, you mentioned him earlier, Zach Bond as your green dot, as your Mike. That guy's a problem. N'Kobe Dean, you go out and draft Jahad Campbell out of Alabama in the first round. That defense is still a massive, massive problem for the NFL.
Yep. Safety, Reed Blankenship. You still got Adoree Jackson, Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Like they just got so many pieces on the defense
everywhere. And you mentioned Reed Blankenship. That's a bad boy, D-Lo.
Yes,
that's a bad boy. He can lay the boom. He can lay the boom.
Philly got to have the most white people on defense, right?
They
In
do.
the NFL.
In skill positions. Positions. You have a white safety and a white corner?
When's the last time you seen a white corner?
Eric Weddle.
Cooper DeJean is him.
Cooper DeJean is a bad boy.
And Quinyon Bay. They got them both.
Man, the Eagles defense is a problem. And of course, you have everybody coming back on offense. So, Eagles, number 2. David Largo, I think we both agree on who the best team in the NFL is right now. But go ahead and tell me and the rest of the people who you believe is the best team in the NFL.
It is, or at least this week, the Buffalo Bills. It's hard to overlook the reigning MVP and what he did on Sunday. 33 of 46 for 394 yards and 2 touchdowns, following that up with 14 rushes for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Problem.
Total of 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards. Problem. Keon Coleman actually stood out on Sunday. He had 3 for 112 and a touchdown.
And he's sort of the guy making that year 2 jump.
Year 2 jump. And I think that's the key that for Buffalo, who's going to step up as that one, and I think Keon Coleman will be the guy. They're kind of in a similar position as the Packers, where they are just like super well balanced everywhere and don't really have that, number one, because they just rely on Josh Allen to Superman, and he does that very well. He Superman's probably better than anybody, and when it comes to regular season, he probably Superman's better than anybody. So obviously the run game wasn't there. They were obviously still playing from behind a majority of the game, which may explain why it wasn't there. The one thing, though, is that the defense has to clean it up. I get you're playing against the Ravens. They can put up points in a hurry. Giving up 40 points week 1, not a good look. But again, this might be a one-off fluke for it being, the Baltimore Ravens. So I think they only get better, too.
I think. Okay, actually, let me just go ahead and put it out there. Yes, the Buffalo Bills are also number 1 on my list. The Buffalo Bills, I do believe, as well as D-Lo, is the best team in the NFL right now. And you mentioned Keon Coleman. And D-Lo, the number one thing that really stands out to me, along with the 8 catches and 112 yards and touchdown that he had, was the 11 targets. So Josh Allen is now actively looking for 0. And I think that's the biggest thing because, like you said, he's becoming that number 1 guy. He's becoming that number 1 guy. And so he looked fantastic yesterday, led the team in catches and targets. They have a pretty decent receiving core. I really, really like Khalil Shakir's game. He had 6 for 64. Josh Palmer had a really good game, had a big catch, a big catch in the fourth quarter. He had 5 for 61. But yeah, there's 2 things that do worry me about this team, D-Lo. There's 2 things. One is the run game. Got to be able to run the ball a little bit better. We talked about it earlier with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can be Superman. Josh Allen can be Superman. Don't make him be Superman every game. Don't make him throw for 400 yards and rush for another 30 every game. Don't make him do that because that's going to wear him down. So that when the playoffs come around, then you're only going to get so much from him. The running game has to come along. James Cook is a fantastic player. I know he can get the run game going. Ty Johnson is a very, very good receiving back out of the backfield, a good third down back. And then you have Ray Davis, who's only going to be on the field so much, but can still make a play or two here and there. And the defense. The defense worries me a little bit. Ed Oliver is one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in football. And I will stand 10 toes on that. Ed Oliver is a fantastic football player. That's about it, though, DLO. They don't have very much. They don't have very much on
Matt
defense.
Milano is okay,
but he's banged up. He's gone through injury after injury. Like you still have some guy, Taron Johnson. I still like his game. They have Shaq Thompson, who's a million years old. AJ Epinesa, the same thing.
They did get Joey.
You're right. They did go out and get Joey Bosa. He didn't do anything.
A whole lot, yeah. But also, first game in Buffalo, I feel like he'll adjust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so. And you know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Gregory Rousseau's name. Gregory Rousseau is a very good pass rusher. So the D line, they're gonna have to step up. The secondary, Taylor Rapp, he's had his moments throughout his career. Taron Johnson, they're going to have to step up. Christian Benford isn't a bad player either. So they're gonna have to get better. They're going to have to be more consistent defensively. I understand you're going up against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, and that's a very good football team. But you can't give up 40 points all the time, whether the football team is good or not. That's how you lose a game. And you probably should have lost this one, but you came away with a dub because of how amazing the reigning MVP and your quarterback, Josh Allen, is.
And shout out to ex-Cardinals kicker Matt Prater.
Matt Prater, 48. He flew in on a red eye on Saturday, and he's still adjusting. He's still adjusting to the time difference, and he flew from Arizona, and is still adjusting to the time difference, and went and made the game-winning field goal. That's a vet, man.
Shout out to ex-Cardinals kicker Matt Prater.
Matt Prater.
Got to bring him up for the Cardinals fans.
Okay, that is going to wrap up this edition of Gumball Sports Machine. Thank you all for watching, and we are back. We're hoping to come up, I was talking to DLO the other day. We're hoping to come up with a consistent schedule. Right now, Tuesdays is going to be the day. This will be uploaded on Wednesday, but maybe Wednesdays and like Saturdays or something like that. So we will, we're hoping to come up with a consistent schedule for you guys to put out podcasts and things like that. So I'm thinking Wednesdays is going to be a day for sure that an episode will be out every Wednesday. Other than that, and maybe Friday or maybe Saturday, we'll see. But that is going to close out this episode. DLO, big shout out to you, brother, as always. Shout
out the gaming channel because we all playing 2K right now. Might be some 2K content.
Oh, there's no might about it, brother. There will be 2K content made, and there will be rage, and there will be screaming and cussing and language that your mama shouldn't hear you see, or shouldn't hear you speak. So, yes, be on the lookout for that.
Eye out for that. Yep.
Jamal Gumball on YouTube. Be on the lookout for that. And as always, nobody else is going to tell you. Oh, thank you, DLO. Thank you, sir.
As always, like, comment, subscribe. As always.
Damn right.
Let me keep cutting them off.
Yeah, hold on. Another little effect. You see that?
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's over there. Look at that animation.
Go ahead, put that. What is that? Go ahead, put that there. Go ahead, do that. If nobody else is going to tell you, I love you, you matter, and you have value. You woke up this morning. Do not take it for granted. Be grateful. And again, the last thing I'll tell you, if anything, it's been a while, DLO. Hold on.
So long.
It's been a little while. Hold on. I might have to do some little practice.
It is nice to be important.
But it's much more important to be nice. We'll see you sometime this week. We love you. DLO, my dog. Appreciate you, brother. Oh, we out.
Gotta find my way to you.